Welcome. I rolled up the sleeves for this one because we've got a lot to talk about. There's some new House bills that passed in Washington State. If you're going to be an investor, if you're going to be a housing provider, things to know about, because I've had conversations this week with many housing providers that didn't have a clue about, one, the new laws that are passing or how it affects their current properties and their tenants. So I want to do a couple videos on two House bills. The first one, this one, House Bill 1217, went into effect the minute the governor signed it on May 7th, 2025. No learning curve, no time to adjust your leases and docs and forms and like that. It went into effect immediately. You need to scramble and get caught up on all this stuff. So there are 8 big terms and conditions that were part of this bill. I'm going to highlight 3. Need my spectacles for these. Minimum notice for rent increase. Previously statewide it was 60 days. Now statewide it's 90 days, whether you're increasing the rent 1% or the max, 90 days minimum. The second one is you must use a state form. Before you could use any kind of rent notice. Hey, tenant, this is your notice, written in a doc form, and send it to them and mail to them or emailed. Now you must use a specific rent increase notice form that's included in the statute. This is again where I always encourage people to be members of the Rental Housing Association of Washington, rhawa.org. They have the best lease docs out there, the best notices. These are all, they stay up on all the new laws and regulations, and all these forms are available. It's super affordable to be a member, and the benefits are incredible. Third thing is, now let's talk about the big one. Rent stabilization, rent control really. 7% plus CPI, which is the Consumer Price Index, or 10%, whatever is the lower of the two. And I went back and looked. Historically, CPI is typically 2 to 6% or so, maybe 1.5%, but it does go negative. So your maximum rent cap could be less than 7, even though it says 7 plus CPI, because the CPI is negative by 1% and your cap is 6%. Okay, but recent historical numbers are showing that you probably would be able to bump your rents by 8 to 9%. Let me just read this real quick so there's no confusion about how that's calculated, because it can be confusing. The Consumer Price Index number to be referenced will be selected and announced by the Department of Commerce on June 1st each year. So it's almost June. We'll see what that number is. It's unfortunate that landlords won't know year to year what they can bump, but I will do a separate video on the ramifications of all this. I just wanted you to know the highlights of House Bill 1217 in the state of Washington, applies statewide, effective immediately.